and welcome to another Toon Network video. This is another summer update. It is currently the 15th of July, Saturday. So let's see what's been happening over the last couple of days in the world of Newcastle United. Well, first off, we released a new third strip, a black offering with gold trim. I think it looks really smart. I think Puma have, as much as a lot of the Puma strips this season are looking quite similar about other clubs. I think certainly I really like the home strip. I really like this new black third kit with a kind of stripes with sort of like a matte glossy kind of alternating. I think it looks really smart with the gold as well. So I hope we get to wear it at some point in the Premier League. So last night we played Hearts in a pre-season friendly, which we won 2-1. So Gale with both goals. Great to see that he's, as there's a lot of rumours flying around about us buying a new striker, which I believe we still should. Gale kind of reminded everybody that he's still there. He's still hungry for goals and he can still find the back of the net when needs be. We saw Rolanda Aarons and Siem de Jong return to the starting lineup. Quite remarkable that they didn't end up getting crocked in any way. But Siem de Jong played a lovely through ball for Gale's first, which a slip and a slot. Gale just slotted it in, which is lovely. And after conceding, we then went 2-1 up. Shelvey corner. Keeper seemed to make a bit of a howler there. And Gale was there to kind of tap it in at the back post. But interesting to go up against Ian Cathro again. Obviously he was on the backroom team with Rafa Benitez before he got the Hearts job. I think this was more about, obviously, friendlies. It's all about fitness, pre-season fitness. It's all about people trying to prove themselves. And I think with the likes of, as I mentioned, Aarons and Siem de Jong, Lejeune came on as well from the subs bench, who by all accounts had a pretty solid game. Like to pass around, which I think would be good playing out from the back. Save also came on and seemed to impress a few people as well. So there's a lot of the fringe players who are trying to stake a claim. We haven't signed as many players as we would have liked, and obviously we all know that maybe a few there's a bit of tension behind the scenes at Newcastle United with Rafa not entirely happy that we haven't had that many new faces through for the start of pre-season friendly. In fact, it was only 2 signings and one of them was Atsu, who we had last season, so not great on that respect. Elliott seemed to make a couple of really decent saves, I saw as well. Obviously a lot of speculation about us buying a new goalkeeper. It seems that Joe Hart's on his way to West Ham. Does that mean that we're in for Reina? Caballero's gone, Hart's gone, we're running out of kind of viable candidates, and I think Benitez will be doing everything he can to get Reina. It would still be a massive coup if he pulls it off, but I think there's whispers that Man City want him if they get rid of Bravo as a kind of number 2. But there's the question, does he want to sit on the bench? Or does he want to be a number 1 in the Premier League, which he'll have the chance to at St James's Park? We'll see. But Elliott certainly showed, again, another player reminding us of his qualities when there's a lot of speculation about his own position. So yeah, I was impressed with a couple of those saves. But again, it's Hearts, it's pre-season friendly. Don't want to read too much into it, but it's a canny little result, and it gets us all back in the swing again. It gets everyone focused, and we start to maybe see quite what Rafa is intending to do in the Premier League. Will he replicate what he's done in the Championship formation-wise, or will he try something a bit different? Will he have a couple of options? Pre-season friendlies usually offer a bit of insight into that, so we'll keep an eye on them as we go along and see what he does, who plays, and how he plays people as well. Okay, so on to transfer news. The big story this week has been Jacob Murphy, England under-21 international from Norwich. We had a bid of £8 million rejected earlier in the week, but there's news this morning that we've gone in for a revised bid, which could be as much as 10 million up front, with a further 2 million to come on for add-ons and bonuses. So it could be about 12 million altogether. 16 million is what Norwich were kind of seemed to hold on for, but I think 12 sort of seems to meet in the middle between 8 and 16. I think 16 would be too much, to be honest. He's a really good talent. He's a Newcastle supporter. I mean, this has been talked about obviously a lot this week as well. His mum's from Birtley. There's pictures of him and his twin brother Josh, Newcastle shirts as babies. And he's consistently referred to Newcastle as his team on Twitter over the last few years as well. So I like him. I think he's a really good talent. He managed to score against us in that famous 4-3 as well last season. I mean, looking at his stats, he's managed 9 goals and 6 assists in the Championship last season. He likes to have a shot. He's good at long shots. And he's good at dribbling as well. And he would sort of operate from that right wing position, although he has operated from the left wing as well. So last season, from the right wing, 26 appearances, 7 goals, 4 assists. So very potent from there. He's averaging a goal or assist every sort of 2.5 games there, which is pretty reasonable. And he's still very young. He's still only 22. He played 3 games left wing as well, and in 3 appearances he got 2 goals and an assist. So extremely potent from the left wing as well. So I think what Rafa likes is the fact that Richie can play both wings. Atsu can as well. Aarons is probably very, very one-footed on the left-hand side, but again, can we rely on his fitness? Although he did have that really decent shot cross off the bar last night, didn't he? But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential here. And let's have a look at some of the reaction from Twitter about Jacob Murphy, from Norwich fans and Newcastle fans. So Travis Ziggy Really Sang on Twitter says, if Newcastle have offered 10 million for Jacob Murphy, then let him go. Massive club, treble his wages, Prem football and Benitez. Very, very well said, Travis. And that's from a Norwich supporter. You know, I think it's difficult to be able to reason against the lure of the Premier League. Norwich didn't make it up. They don't obviously don't want to see him go, but I think Travis there, a Norwich fan, being very realistic, knows that, well, if he is going to go, good luck to him, and if that's what he wants. It was reported that he's handed in a transfer request and told the Norwich board that he does want to join Newcastle. So with this revised bid, which could be worth up to an extra 4 million, might just see some movement on that. I'm quite optimistic. Chris_Newcastle said of the first bid, he said, you certainly don't lowball them and risk pissing them off altogether. 8 million for Murphy, 22, English, 4 years left on his deal is ridiculous. That's true, Chris. I think, again, if you look at some of the sums that were being touted around for Tom Kearney in the summer as well, in January, 8 million does seem to be a low ball, certainly in this transfer window, and especially given if he's got a big contract left, he's homegrown, and he is an England under-21 international who's getting regular action, scored a couple of weeks ago as well. I mean, there was a lot talked about Traore, who, I mean, technically looks incredible, but he seems to be a bit of a head down, run really quickly kind of guy, no end product. He's got about 3 assists in 2 seasons in the Premier League, Traore. So I just wonder if he's lacking that kind of football intelligence that maybe Jacob Murphy might be able to offer. Plenty of assists, plenty of outputs. Obviously, we're comparing Jacob Murphy, who's not really played in the top flight, against a Traore who's come from the Barcelona academy, has played 2 seasons there for lesser clubs, if you want to, who've been relegated, Villa and Middlesbrough. But I'm not sure how much you can train him to get a good ball in if you can't do it now. You know, I think with Murphy, with goals and assists, he's got a lot more versatility, a lot more to offer the team in different ways, whereas Traore doesn't score, and doesn't really assist either. So if you're playing one up front in a 4-2-3-1 formation, like Richie, you kind of need your wingers to be contributing as well as the central striker as well to goals. Otherwise, where are the goals going to come from, you know? So, yeah, maybe 8 million was lowballing, but I think it was just pressing the flesh, seeing how Norwich would react. They've sort of, I feel that a deal will be close. I think it might take an extra million or so, but I think Norwich are now resigned to him leaving. I know he's told the Norwich board that, or the Norwich board have assured fans that they're going to get the right deal for Murphy. So now we're talking in terms of that, as opposed to he's not going anywhere. I think we're pretty close on this one, but we'll keep you updated. Obviously, well, you'll probably be finding out before we get another video out. But I think this one looks close. I think he looks really good. He's young, versatile, and if he can have any impact like he did, like Nathan Redmond did, coming from Norwich as well, who's gone on to become a really solid Premier League player. I think we could have a real player on our hands, quite an exciting one, and it's good to keep a nice English core in the side, which we already do. Looking on who scored here, his style of play, likes to cut inside, likes to dribble, likes to play short passes, and likes to cross a lot. So that sounds like it ticks a lot of boxes for us, but we'll see how he develops. And another rumour coming out this morning is Kristen Henniage, journalist, is suggesting that favourite Twitter rumour, Diego Roland, who there's been rumours for like the last we've been linked to last couple of years for Diego Roland from Bordeaux, the Uruguayan. He's sort of a striker come winger, but there's Uruguayan media claiming that he's heading over to Newcastle to speak with representatives in Newcastle in London. Whether it's true or not, whether he's the answer that we need up front, maybe he is a plan B to losing out on Tammy Abraham, and it might be that Gale is going to be the #1 striker and Roland is going to maybe challenge for that. It seems from looking at his stats that he's very much in the Gale mould. He's very mobile, not particularly spectacular in the air either. So we will be probably more playing like a Gale, who will feed off balls over the top or through the middle as well, or balls on the ground, as opposed to high crosses that say Mitrovic or Daryl Murphy might have thrived on. He's 24. And last season he managed a goal every 196 minutes in Ligue 1 in France, which is reasonable. It's not incredible. He is 24 now. As I said, he's a main striker but can operate from the left as well. He's only managed more than 10 goals in a league season once, and that was 3 years ago, and he scored 15. So he might not be as prolific as we might have hoped for a striker coming in. Whether it's even happening or not, we'll see what's happening. Obviously, Kristen Henniage just reporting on foreign media, but they could be as reliable as our own. So we'll see what happens. It's one of those rumours that might fly around a bit, and nothing ever comes of it. Just another tweet here on Jacob Murphy from a Norwich fan. Chris Revo says, I don't normally comment on transfer rumours, but I'd be extremely disappointed to see Jacob go for under 15 million, huge potential. So there's another Norwich fan who really rates him quite highly, which is obviously a good sign for us and new transfers coming in. So whether it's Murphy coming in next, seems quite likely at the minute, whether it's Roland, or whether we're going to be linked with other players, Gibbs, Rayner, Chambers, Samaris. Those rumours seem to have gone a bit quiet at the moment. But I think one thing's for sure, now we've hit pre-season friendlies, Rafa has made his intentions quite clear and his feelings quite clear to the board, I think. There was suggestions that him wearing a tracksuit last night at the friendly instead of his usual three-piece suit was, which apparently he's done before, is a hint to the board to suggest that he feels like more of a coach than a manager. Now, how much we can read into that, I think it was Craig Hope who had reported on that. Maybe a bit tongue-in-cheek, but we'll see. We know that there's a lot of wranglings in the background. We know that Charnley needs to pull his finger out, and we need to get these signings in. It's getting on now. We're now mid-July. We've probably got a couple of weeks before we can kind of start really, really panicking and calling it a bit of a disaster. So we need a lot of movement in the next 2 weeks, I think. I still think we can do it. But what we do know is Rafa needs players in to test in pre-season friendlies before the start of the new season. What he doesn't want to do is be waiting on a few transfers right to the way through August, which, to be honest, I think is absolutely going to be the case. I think there might be even a couple of massive signings that we make towards the end of August, given the market, given that we need all of the huge transfers like a Lukaku or all of these big signings to happen. Kyle Walker to Man City, for example. Once all the big money at the top is distributed about, it usually has a domino effect down the chain, and that's when the lesser clubs like ourselves in the Premier League can operate and hopefully nab a bargain here and there. Chalobah went from Chelsea to Watford for about 5 million, so there's definitely bargains to be had if we know how to get the deals done, if we know where to look. I think Rafa will be targeting good young talent from the top 6, but also some foreign investment as well. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. It's looking, I wouldn't say it's looking a lot more, much more optimistic than the last time we spoke on the video and on the podcast. But the Murphy story seems to have legs. Let's hope we can get some over the line. It's not panic stations just yet, guys, but we're slowly getting to the point where it's going to become critical. Also, before I go anywhere, and thanks very much for listening and watching again. Get your comments below who we should be signing this summer. Who do you think's realistic? Before I go, I forgot on the last video to give a shout out to a guy that I saw in Lady Grey a few Fridays ago. I'll be honest with you, mate, completely forgot your name because I was drunk. But thanks for watching anyway, and yeah, keep contributing in. Thanks very much, everyone. I've been Adam from the Toon Network. This has been another Toon Network summer update. Let's hope there's more transfer news next time out. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.